Hello and welcome. I am doing something here today I don't think I've ever done before exactly this way. It's kind of a book review, but kind of an overview of this person's channel. You can see their name there. You can also see behind me, I'll get rid of me in a second here. But I wanted to show that, in keeping with the Bathtub Alliance way of dressing, I have on a button up shirt, which I rarely put on nowadays. But I'll move my head so you can see a little tiny video that's playing. It's playing behind me on a loop. So that's also the book cover. So let me hide me. Okay, I'll be back. Well, I'm going to try to review without really actually reviewing it. Is a book he put together called Three Paragraphs in the Life of Bob Johnson, a novel in 303 paragraph stories by Scott Bradfield. He has a channel on YouTube, Facebook. I'm not sure where else. I know of those two. And I've enjoyed the channel. And at first, I was subscribed and watching just because I was looking for anyone who's talking about short stories, kind of my favorite thing to read because you don't have to invest a lot of whatever mental capacities or time, really. So I did get the book from him directly. As you can see, it's signed on the inside here. I'll read it in case you're interested. For our East Coast bathing buddy, yeah, there's a bathtub thing with this, and that's my name. Stay safe in the bathtub. Scott Bradfield. SLO, I think, stands for San Luis Obispo, which is right below there. And I got back in April, but I didn't start reading it. And I didn't really actually read this. I kind of saved it. But there's the front cover. If you're interested in the hardback, you can get it from him or on Amazon, which I forgot to go to here. Maybe off camera real quickly, I'll get there and hide my address since their new thing is to show you your addresses all the time. Let's see. Book order. Maybe if I just type Bob, it'll come up. Yeah, there we go. So I'll scroll me off. And then somewhere I'm going to hide my bookmarks. It's not good to give away your banking. But I got it from him. And then I also get the Kindle because even though, like everybody, Amazon's some evil monopoly thing. But, and that's fine. But I also got the Kindle because I like reading on the Kindle, not a Kindle device, but the Kindle app on an iPad because you get to control the font really well, as you'll see here in a second. And you can look up words. It has a dictionary and links to Wikipedia, so there's all kinds of pluses. But anyway, back to the book, which I'll turn around. I think it's 273. Let me check real quick. 274 pages. And bonus of bonuses, there's not just 303 paragraph stories, there's 301. Surprise, surprise. But so, okay, let me get back to what comes next. I guess we'll, let's see if I remember how to do it. We'll switch to my screen so I can share it. There's where the book is on Amazon. You can see I got it. Paperbacks, $12.95. I think that's about the same price you can get if you get it from him directly. Let's see. Also wanted to point out that I am on the list of whatever he's calling it, the International Bathing Alliance. Allowance. And that's me there. So he writes a little blurb about each of these people that have signed up for this. I mean, you don't really get much out of it, to be quite honest. But I don't think I remember Noah during the flood. Noah lives somewhere in Georgia. So it gives a little bit about you that he wrote up. So that's kind of nice to see. So let me get this off of here and go back to the other screen. And I can can minimize this out of my way. Okay, so there's the cover of the book. Let's go over here to where I actually read it. And I also have something coming up. So here's my readers. You can see I read a lot of stuff about writing instead of actually writing. I think I've tried everything. And there's a girlfriend's stories, which you might want to read. Maybe I'll do a video like this for her if she doesn't mind. So let's go into the book. Here's the first one. So I'm going to tap on it. And you can see where I left off. But there are 301. We go back to the top. I did enjoy the introduction, which explains how this book came to be. He was teaching writing stories, and the introduction is good to understand what's going on here. And as you can see, I think you can see, I can change this font to be something that I prefer, which is more like right in there. So it's the only thing about these apps that I like. I don't like Kindle devices. I used to have one. They work okay, but, I thought it was kind of flaky compared to this. You can highlight stuff. When you go back, there's a way to get... Anyway, it's not about Kindle. It's about the book. I wanted to read something in here. Yeah, you get a bit about how to start a story, what a paragraph is, and a short story is about respecting the limits of form. And this started off slowly, as I'll show you, but it picked up. The first one is just that simple one there. I'll read the next one to you, number 2 in the book, called Entre Nous. This is where Bob Johnson appears. When Bob Johnson arrived home from work, he found his dog, Mabel, a wire-haired terrier, in bed with the postman. "Hi there, Bob," shouted the postman cheerily, saluting Bob with a half-finished bottle of Beaujolais Nouveau. He was still wearing his bright red postman's cap. There was a thick mat of curly black hairs on his bare chest. "Woof," Mabel said. Now that is one of the stories. They get better and longer and more complicated. And I want to also show, I got curious how many characters are in this because they just keep coming and going and coming back again. So I spent a little time to come up with a spreadsheet. Doesn't really have to be a spreadsheet, but since spreadsheets number things, that made it easier. You can see there I described, by putting it together from various places, Bob Johnson's a Pisces. He's a hopeless, drunk, romantic. He's got lots of wives, I think sons, a grandpa who's all over the place. And in episode number 164, he's described as overweight, male, ungainly, balding, and looks like he slept on an army cot in the garage, which is true. But as I go scroll down through here, I may have missed a couple. And some of these might be places, like Putin doesn't figure very much, but there he is, because he's in there. So is our ex-president, Donald Trump. He's also in there. I got to make the font smaller to get to the bottom. But by my count, it turns out to be 182 characters in this book, which is amazing for something that's just based on a simple 3 paragraphs, although some of those paragraphs are large. But overall, without being too goofy about the whole thing, I enjoyed reading this, once I started, reading this first thing every morning with coffee. And I would do 1 or 2, depending on the size of them. So I can recommend the book. And what was I going to show? I was going to do a proper interview where you're specific and thorough and extravagant. And you talk about plot, characters, and dialogue, and themes, and climax, and why I like the story and all that. But it's just a distraction from, some bad news that's out there. and I enjoyed it. So I can, if I can switch back to the cover here, I can recommend it. And I'll come bring myself back so I can say goodbye in the usual way. So if you can, if you want, give it a try. And with that, I will say peace.